See, one thing about me, when it comes to anime and manga, I only talk the peak of the peak, and now I'm not talking about Hunter x Hunter or Tokyo Revengers today, but I am talking about another peak series, that being Attack on Titan. Specifically, who is the peak of the 9 Titans? And no, this video is not a breakdown on Peak the Cart Titan. We're talking about the pros, the cons, and the rankings of the 9 Titans. But before we get into all of that, 2 things. One, this video will include spoilers, so if you don't be spoiled, just head on out now. Don't try to grab me like Eren grabbed Hanji, because I'm gonna do you like Dabi did Sasha, alright? And number 2, if you can, please hit that like, that subscribe, and hit the notification bells for more. So this is how we're gonna do this video, alright? We're gonna do the pros, we're gonna do the cons, and then we'll attack the rankings last. Speaking of attack, let's go ahead and start off with that boy, the Attack Titan. Now see, the Attack Titan is a pretty ironic one because its ability doesn't have to do with any kind of physical attacks. Where all the 9 Titans can see their past inheritors, the Attack Titan can see the past inheritors and the future inheritors, so that's why it's known as the Freedom Fighter Titan. It's really the voice of the voiceless, the CM Punk of the 9 Titans, if you will, because this one is leading the charge to free the Eldians since it can see the future. But while it can see the future, there's a bit of a problem with it, and it's the same problem that all the other 9 Titans have. While they can see their past inheritors, they can't see every single thing. Very similar to the Attack Titan, where it can see into the future, but it can't see every single thing. Grisha wasn't able to see everything when it came to Eren. Eren wasn't able to know that when it came to Ymir blood, to control her, that he would need royal blood, that he wasn't going to be able to do it. The only person that could was going to be Zeke. Speaking of Zeke, the Beast Titan. So when it comes to the Beast Titan, this is one of the hardest ones to talk about because it doesn't have set abilities other than possibly the ability of transforming into some type of animal, because Falco does talk about how there was a beast with wings, and then we've seen that the other Beast Titan forms looked like oxes and crocodiles and all kind of other crazy stuff. So I'm gonna assume that the Beast Titan's ability is just to turn into a large animal, which means that its other abilities would vary depending on the animal. For instance, with Zeke, he was an excellent pitcher and he had this ape-like form, so he was able to have a very strong throwing arm. But if you were like a winged beast type animal, then I would assume that your ability would be the ability to fly. If you were a aquatic type of animal, then I would assume your ability would be to breathe underwater. But with that said, let's just keep this on Zeke's Titan, because the other amazing thing about his Titan was that because he had royal blood, his spinal fluid actually allowed him to turn people into Titans that he could control. So he kind of had a similar shout to an Eren, to an Annie. Speaking of Annie, the female Titan. I don't know why I did all that. But the female Titan is arguably the closest to the founding Titan. It's probably one of the best ones too, because the female Titan actually has the ability to copy everybody else's abilities if she's able to ingest them. And like I just said, she has a shout very similar to Eren and Zeke. So basically, the female Titan is a mini founding Titan, just not as good. Speaking of not as good, Reiner, more specifically the Armored Titan. You get it? Because Reiner's not as good as like the other ones that he was training with. He actually wasn't supposed to be the Armored Titan. He was supposed to be Marcel's younger brother, but he didn't want him to be the, he didn't want him to be the Titan, so he just basically talked up or talked down his brother, so Reiner would, y'all got it. I just want to make sure y'all got the transition right. Okay, when it comes to the Armored Titan, it's like playing a stealth game when you just have no patience. You know, usually in stealth games, you gotta go in silent, gotta get the silent kills and all that. But you're just like, you know what? No, today I'm just too frustrated. I'm going in guns blazing. That's what the Armored Titan is. It goes in everywhere in guns blazing because it has all this nice, strong armor on it that really can't be penetrated by much unless, Hanji happens to get some really powerful missiles that could just blow you up. then you're just kind of screwed. But Yeah, the Armor Titan has all this nice armor on it that helps it against other Titans whenever they're trying to eat it or they're trying to cause damage to it, or the ODM gear, specifically the blades. But it does have one other amazing ability as well that for some reason we never seen the Founding Titan use. It has the ability to move itself basically throughout its body. So if you were to go for its nape, it wasn't actually there. It was kind of like a "ha, gotcha" kind of thing. Yeah, it was plot armor. It was 100% plot armor, 1000%, which makes so much sense because this is the Armored Titan. That's why I call it the plot armor Titan. Speaking of somebody who would want plot armor, the Warhammer Titan, or as I like to call it, the Titan that showed up for about 5 seconds yet still had more screen time than Shanks from One Piece. So the Warhammer Titan has two really cool things about it. One, it can basically just create whatever it wants. It can create an endless amount of weapons. It's like the Gilgamesh of Attack on Titan. And then the other great thing is that the user of the Warhammer Titan doesn't have to actually be within the Titan. So that thing could get completely destroyed and the user can still be alive. And that's because it can create this little like cable-like thing and go hide in a crystal that only one Titan could actually break. The one Titan being the Jaw Titan. I bet Jaw weren't ready for that one, huh? So this is the most obvious one when it comes to the Jaw Titan and what its abilities are, you know? Got a nice strong jaw, you got some nice strong claws. I don't know why they added in that, but okay. Sadly, it just can't stand that tall, you know? The Jaw Titan is very, very small. Okay, I'm done. But the Jaw Titan has very powerful jaws that can basically just bite through anything. It was able to bite through the hardening of the Warhammer Titan. That's what actually allowed Eren to turn other dude into a nutcracker and crack said Warhammer Titan so that he could get the powers of the Warhammer Titan. My bad, I don't have the greatest memory, but speaking of memories and someone who has someone else's memories, Armin and the Colossal Titan. Now see, when it comes to the Colossal Titan, because it is the tallest of Titans, it's already hard enough to reach its nape without running out of gas in your ODM gear. But because of its very powerful steam ability, that makes it even harder. They weren't able to get to it with the rockets, nor were they able to get to it with their ODM gear in general. This is what caused Armin to turn into burnt toast. With that said though, an excessive use of steam can actually make this Titan get a lot weaker and make it much easier to defeat. But the Colossal Titan also has the ability to turn into a basically human bomb because it can store up all its energy. You see, when every Titan transforms, they have this set amount of energy that they actually unleash, but the Colossal Titan can store it all up, and then when it turns into its colossal form, it can let all of it out, and that's what caused Shiganshina to turn into Shiganshina. But thankfully, the scouts were able to deliver them an L, and speaking of delivery, by the way, the Cart Titan. Now, when it comes to the Cart Titan, it doesn't really have any attacking abilities, but it does have some pretty great abilities nonetheless. And then the fact that it's one of the faster Titans because it is on all four, it's also able to stay in its Titan form the longest of all the 9 Titans. And it's able to carry stuff on its back, so that's why it was able to carry stuff like anti-Titan artillery. Now, you probably noticed by now I haven't gotten into much of the cons of these Titans, and that's because they don't all really have major cons, but the Cart Titan does have 2 of them. One being, well, it's butt ugly. To be fair, Isayama was making the Cart Titan as a man at first, so it makes sense that it looks, you know, like a man, but why it gotta look so ugly? And number 2 is the fact that it's not really a con. It's a con for this story because we know that Peak's Titan was used so much because it's able to stay in its Titan form the longest, that whenever Peak would come out of the Titan form, she would be extremely exhausted and she would kind of be forced to walk on all fours because her body got used to it. Actually, I just remembered there is one more con, but it's not a perfect statement. It's more a belief statement. I think it was made by Gabi or Falco, and it's that Peak doesn't have the greatest of healing abilities when it comes to her cart Titan, so that's why when she took big hits, she didn't heal as quickly as the others. But to be fair though, if you notice in Attack on Titan, a lot of the Titan users, their healing abilities got worse as the series progressed. I don't know if that's because they took so much stress on their body from constantly transforming, being in big time fights, or if it's because their time as a Titan user was coming to an end. Now, I promised you, we're almost to the rankings. There's just one thing I have to say before we get into that, and it's the cons of a few Titans that I didn't give, mainly because they were going to just be the same thing over and over, and I didn't feel like repeating myself, and I'm pretty sure y'all didn't want to hear me repeat the same thing over and over. It's that the Colossal Titan, the Beast Titan, and the Armor Titan all have the same con, that being they just weren't that fast. They were very slow. The Armor Titan was a bit faster than the others, but it was still pretty slow in comparison to most of the Titans. But speaking of somebody who has no cons and also the start of our rankings, the Founding Titan. This thing can do everything that every other Titan that I already mentioned can do. So it could do what the Attack Titan could do, what the Beast Titan could do, what the Colossal Titan could do, what the Armor Titan and every other one of them could do. It also has the ability to alter people's memories, even wiping said memories. It can turn every Titan that is a beast, a colossal, a whatever, into the same height as the Colossal Titan. It doesn't even need a shout to actually turn people into Titans. It could just talk to them. It also has the ability to start the rumbling as well. Like, it can just, it can do everything. It's the unanimous number one. Now, at number 2 is where things get interesting. A lot of Titans have been put here. I've seen the Attack Titan put here. I've seen the Armor Titan been put here. I've seen the Warhammer Titan get put here. Me, personally, I'm going to put the female Titan only because it has basically the same ability as the Founding Titan where it's able to copy others' abilities. It just needs to ingest them first. And again, we've seen with the female Titan that it's an extremely athletic Titan, it's an extremely fast Titan, and this wasn't necessarily because of Annie, but Annie did help make those abilities even better. In third place, I'm gonna go with the Warhammer Titan. I want to put the Attack Titan or the Armor Titan here. It feels like you probably should, and I think most people would, but for me, I'm gonna go with the Warhammer Titan because its defense is probably better than the Armor Titans, with the fact that you have to actually know about its cable and crystal technique. If you don't know about it, you're just going to keep fighting the Warhammer Titan forever and ever, run out of ODM gas, or you're just going to run out of stamina in your Titan form. It also has a creation ability as well, which just makes it so dang good. We've seen that Eren with the Warhammer abilities was able to fight so much of Marley. We've seen that Lyra was able to go 1v1 with an Eren Yeager and give him a lot of troubles. It's just such a powerful Titan that I think had it been in a better user, like had Eren had it from the beginning, or heck, even if had Annie had it from the beginning, I think this Titan would have been a lot more of a threat. And had that one got sent to parody, Eren comes back very easily. Next up, I'm going to put the Attack Titan here. I know a lot of y'all would probably want the Armor Titan here, but I'm going to go with the Attack Titan because being able to see into the future is such an amazing ability to have. Like, you know so much of what is going to happen, and unless you're like Eren, you can strategize so many things. Like, you know who's coming to get you if you're Eren. So now you can make strategies on how to stop them. You know who's coming to get Paradis. So you can make strategies on how to defeat them. Like, I would say the only thing about the Attack Titan that maybe somebody would put it under the Armor Titan is the fact that you have to actually be a good fighter to be able to use this Titan's strength, which, I mean, that does make sense for sure. But I just, me personally, I'm putting it above the Armor Titan. Now at number 5, this is where things for me actually just got very interesting, because I started debating with myself of who would I put here at number 5, and I'm gonna go with the Colossal Titan. I know the Armor Titan doesn't have the steam con that the Colossal Titan does, which, yes, that's a very big con, I will say that. But because the Colossal Titan's defenses kind of work as an offense as well, I'm gonna put it here. That steam is not only able to protect itself, but it's able to harm others. And with that, like, basically bombing ability, it just makes it such an offensive threat once again. And again, it's height. You have to actually, it's going to be very hard to get to its nape. When you get there, you have to actually be able to cut through it. I'm going with the Colossal Titan at number 5. At number 6, though, this is where we get to the Armored Titan. I think its defensive abilities are absolutely amazing. They are absolutely amazing. They like I said, they forced Hanji and them to make whole new kind of weapons just to defeat it. The ability to be the Plot Armored Titan and Move Your Conscience is also extremely OP. Although we only seen Reina do it once, so it's hard to really throw it in there for the rankings. Like, if I only see this only one time, I don't know if you can do it again, especially when you had multiple opportunities to do it again and you never did it again. So yeah, the Armor Titan is at number 6. Number 7 for me, I'm gonna go with the Jaw Titan. I was contemplating putting the Beast Titan here, but the Jaw Titan, just one, it has a set ability, so we know what it can actually do. And number 2, having those powerful jaws is actually a very great offensive weapon. Plus the claws as well, so it's not only... So, like, even if you were to stop its mouth from attacking you, it still has its hands to attack you. And it's one of the fastest Titans, too, so there's that as well. Like I said, the only real con with this thing is its big old head and its tiny little body. It's very odd. Oddly proportioned. But that leaves us with number 8, that being the Beast Titan. Like I said, the biggest thing that hurts this thing is we just don't know what its set ability is. And sure, the spinal fluid is a very big plus, but that's not Zeke's, like, I mean, that's not the Beast Titan's ability. That's Zeke's ability because he is a royal. So I really can't give it to the Beast Titan. Like, if we give the Beast Titan to anybody else, they don't have this ability unless we're talking about Historia. Which leads us to number 9, that being the Cart Titan. Sadly, it's just a pack mule of Titans. It's not really great offensively. It does have a lot of speed, I will say that. But its best thing is just being a pack mule. And when it comes to the other 9 Titans and them all having something kind of great offensively, or in Eren's case, just being able to see into the future, you're not going to be above the other 9 Titans, or the other 8 Titans. So, sorry, Peak, but sadly, you're not the peak of the 9 Titans. And that is it for my rankings. I definitely hope y'all did enjoy this video. Obviously, we're probably all going to have different opinions on 2 through, I would say, 8. I think everybody probably has Peak at 9, and hopefully all have the Founding Titan at 1. I would definitely love to hear y'all rankings down below. I would love to hear y'all reasonings for said rankings. And again, if you did like this video, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more AOT content, for more anime manga content, and, you know, just to continue further and support the channel. Much love. Y'all have a good one.